Deep in the heart of Alaska, a land of bitter cold and unforgiving wilderness, something sinister was taking shape. An ordinary man was changing, transforming into a figure of dread. He called himself the Alaskan Avenger, but his real name was James Dale Ritchie. Ritchie believed he had a mission, a calling. He would be the one to rid the streets of Anchorage of its evils. He would take the law into his own hands. He saw himself as a protector, a vigilante, a guardian of the innocent. And the enemy? In his eyes, it was the drug dealers, the ones he believed were corrupting his city. He had to stop them, he convinced himself. And his weapon of choice in this crusade? A powerful .45 caliber pistol. November 1992 marked the beginning of Ritchie's reign of terror. He would leave a trail of blood and fear in his wake, a chilling testament to the darkness that can fester beneath the surface, even in the most remote corners of the world. November 1992. Anchorage, Alaska, lay under a thick blanket of early winter snow, but a different kind of chill settled upon the city. The peace was shattered. A killer stalked the streets, targeting the city's underbelly, the world of drugs and desperation. 3 souls lost in the darkness became his victims, gunned down with cold-blooded precision. Each death bore his chilling signature. The .45 caliber pistol became a symbol of dread, a harbinger of death. Whispers of the Alaskan Avenger spread like wildfire, igniting panic throughout the city. Fear kept residents locked in their homes at night, afraid to venture out into the darkness. The police, feeling the immense pressure, worked tirelessly to catch the killer. They knew time was slipping away. They had to stop the Alaskan Avenger before he could claim another victim. James Dale Ritchie was an enigma, a man of stark contradictions. He was a quiet, solitary individual, yet he craved recognition, ached to be seen. He saw himself as a force for good, a beacon of righteousness. But the path he chose was paved with violence and terror. Ritchie existed on the fringes of society, drifting from one job to another, harboring a growing resentment within him. He blamed the world's problems on those he deemed unworthy, the undesirables. Drug dealers became his focus, his targets. He convinced himself they were poisoning his city, and he, James Dale Ritchie, was the only one who could stop them. But his sense of justice, warped and twisted, would have terrifying consequences. Ritchie didn't see himself as a murderer, not in the traditional sense. He was on a mission, a righteous crusade. He was a soldier waging war against the forces of evil. He was the judge, jury, and executioner, all rolled into one. He believed with unwavering certainty that he was delivering justice to those he deemed deserving of punishment. He targeted those involved in the drug trade, seeing himself as a righteous avenger, cleansing the streets of their blight. He felt no remorse, no guilt for his actions. He was utterly convinced of the righteousness of his cause. He believed with every fibre of his being that he was making a difference, ridding the world of a plague. He was a one-man army, fighting a war against the encroaching darkness. But his methods were brutal, savage. His sense of justice was warped, twisted into something grotesque. Section 5. The .45 caliber weapon, tool of terror. The .45 caliber pistol was Ritchie's weapon of choice, his instrument of fear. It was a powerful and deadly tool, an instrument of death. It gave him a sense of control, of dominance over life and death. He used it to instill fear in his victims, to remind them of their powerlessness, and ultimately he used it to end their lives. The deafening roar of the gun echoed through the streets of Anchorage, each gunshot a stark and chilling reminder of the terror that had the city in its grip. The .45 caliber pistol was more than just a weapon to Ritchie. It was a symbol of his power, a tool to enforce his twisted sense of justice. It was a chilling reminder of the darkness that had consumed him, a darkness that seemed to seep from the very barrel of the gun. Section 6, Confrontation and Capture. The Avenger falls. The police were closing in on Ritchie, the net tightening around him. They were relentless in their pursuit, determined to stop him, to end his reign of terror. They had to bring him to justice. The manhunt intensified, the pressure mounting with each passing day. Finally, Ritchie was cornered, trapped with nowhere left to run. He found himself face to face with the law, the moment of truth upon him. A tense standoff ensued, a battle of wills. But the Alaskan Avenger's reign of terror was coming to an end. He was arrested, charged with murder, his reign of terror brought to an abrupt end. The city breathed a collective sigh of relief, the nightmare finally over. But the scars of Ritchie's crimes, those would run deep, a permanent reminder of the darkness that had descended upon their city. Section 7. Whispers of Doubt. Justice on Trial. Ritchie's trial was a media sensation, captivating the nation. The eyes of the world were on Anchorage, watching and waiting. The prosecution presented a compelling case, meticulously laying out the evidence. They detailed Ritchie's crimes, painting him as a cold-blooded killer, a predator who stalked the night. But Ritchie, defiant to the end, maintained his innocence. He claimed he was framed, a patsy in a larger game. His defense team, seizing on any opportunity, raised questions about the investigation, hinting at police misconduct, planting seeds of doubt in the minds of the jury. They planted seeds of doubt. The jury ultimately found Ritchie guilty, the weight of the evidence too much to ignore. He was sentenced to life in prison, his fate sealed. But to this day, questions linger, whispers of doubt echoing through the years. Did Ritchie receive a fair trial? Was he truly the Alaskan Avenger, or was he a scapegoat, a victim of circumstance, his life destroyed to protect a darker truth? Section 8. Scars on the Last Frontier. The Aftermath. The Alaskan Avenger case left an indelible mark on Anchorage, a scar on its soul. It shattered the city's sense of security, the illusion of safety torn away. It forced people to confront the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface. The realization that evil could flourish even in the most pristine of environments. The families of Ritchie's victims were left to grieve, to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives. They struggled to come to terms with their loss, haunted by the question of why. They searched for answers, for meaning in the senselessness, their hearts aching for justice. The case also raised uncomfortable questions about the justice system itself, highlighting the complexities of crime and punishment. It sparked debate about the role of vigilantism in society, the fine line between right and wrong, justice and revenge. The Alaskan Avenger case was a stark reminder that even in the most remote corners of the world, evil can flourish, taking root in the most unexpected of places. Section 9. Conclusion: The haunting legacy of the Alaskan Avenger. The story of James Dale Ritchie, the Alaskan Avenger, is a chilling tale of delusion and violence, a stark reminder of the fragility of the human psyche. It is a story that continues to haunt Alaska to this day, a ghost story whispered around campfires, a cautionary tale of the darkness that can reside within the human heart. It is a reminder that darkness can lurk in the hearts of men, a chilling echo that reverberates through time. It is a reminder that even in a place as vast and wild as Alaska, no one is safe from the shadows, from the monsters that lurk both within and without. The Alaskan Avenger case is a chilling reminder that justice is not always black and white, a stark grey scale where the lines blur and the truth remains elusive. It is a story that forces us to confront the complexities of good and evil, of justice and revenge, of the darkness that can consume even the most ordinary of men. It is a story that will stay with us long after the last page is turned, a haunting reminder of the darkness that resides within us all.